I've got minimal time to make it to the next bathroom. And I don't want to wait.
This was already a photo finish. I don't need a second one, please.
Please tell me, do I have 5 minutes or not?
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that the person asking this question is the one in the wrong, right?
Well, yeah, because this person has said like they've been the one that's gotten barged in on, and they're expecting the people to be more considerate. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah,
Not considerate, just
what type of
apologetic.
apology do they accept the person to grovel on their knees and be like, "I'm sorry, my liege, for walking on and in on you during your toilet time"? It's like, that's a completely normal reaction to be like, use the lock.
Look, I've apologized. In the situation where it's happened, people have come out and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but the door was unlocked. Like, I'm sorry that you're a fucking idiot is basically what I've said. And if they heard it as that, that's one thing, or like that's another story. If they basically said, I'm sorry that you did not do the correct thing in a bathroom.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree.
Yeah, look, I don't know. It's just something that I don't want to feel comfortable. You don't want to see someone in that vulnerable state, because then it's like one of us has to leave this workplace now. It's not going to be me.
I've always said one of my greatest fears is somebody murdering me on the toilet, because it just feels so vulnerable. Your pants down,
exactly.
You're defenseless. You know, you're open in more ways than one, and it's just a bad way to go out.
And then they're going to cut you out.
I agree with you, but I would hate to be found that way too. That's probably the worst way to be found.
That's exactly what I mean. You don't want to how Elvis went out, this massive, rock star, an icon, and he went out with his trousers around his ankles on the shitter.
And
Thank you
there's
very
a
much.
good chance when you get murdered, they're not going to flush before they leave either. So. They've got a dead corpse. What's worse?
I'm just imagining the autopsy being like, yeah, we tested his stool and he definitely died by stabbing. We got that from his stool.
Thank God he left a specimen. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to say
it. Oh boy. Let's leave that there for Gary Goldblum, as Marcus called in.
Gary Goldblum.
And let's leave it there for the podcast. That's actually all the time we have for the show. But great questions brought to the table as always. Now, neither of you are going to try and head down to the beach this weekend, because I saw the traffic was incredibly crazy yesterday by people finally being able to head out to regional Victoria.
No.
One of the plus sides of being in lockdown for the last 9 months is that there was no risk of going to the beach, because the beach is horrible. I didn't even want to drive past it.
Oh, I'm hanging for a dip in the ocean. I got to say, I'd love to go for a swim.
Damien gets sunburnt just driving past the beach, not even getting out of the car.
I will say, looking at myself in the webcam, I do have the complexion of Casper at the moment, so maybe I need some beach time, but whatever.
If you were to turn on like your background like chroma key and chroma key it to the wall, your face would disappear as well. I think. Yeah. You'd be completely keyed out, and it would just be like a shirt and headphones.
Do you know what was interesting actually? Because my girlfriend recently, she got a stress fracture in her foot. And she went to somebody to obviously help her out with that. And they were saying that they've noticed in the last 7 to 8 months in Melbourne anyway, they've had a lot more stress fractures. And I think it might be in part that people are getting less vitamin D because they're not outside as much. So I'm surprised that my whole body just hasn't fallen apart and I just don't have stress fractures all over my body. I've held together. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, the sun is completely void of everyone's bodies. And now our bones are just sort of falling to pieces.
Yes. Yeah. As you go to open your front door to leave, you just step on your ankle and it crushes, just disappears.
No, my bones turn to dust. Well, that's a worry. That's something to really worry about.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you're not sort of just, because tomorrow's going to be 32 degrees and those beaches are going to be packed, and that's going to be another test of what's to come for summer. But I think we can safely say that things are returning to normal. I'm counting the days until we can do this in person. I must say, I'm getting a bit of Zoom fatigue, or there's a name for it. They've called it
Zoom teague.
Zoom teague, they've called it Zoom teague.
I'm sick of talking at you guys, which is what the podcast feels like, as opposed to having a conversation. So I'm looking forward to doing it with you guys soon in person.
Hopefully next week or the week after, I think. So
let's do it at a beach.
Yeah, let's go to the beach.
Let's go to the beach. Yeah, let's do it on vacation. Yeah.
Until then, guys, that's all the time we have. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at tqhpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us a question of your own, or if you just want to say hi, feel free to do that in that capacity. Unless there's anything else.
I just wanted to see if Marcus had any other Friends cameos that he wanted to list off before the episode wrap, just in case.
You can run it out as the credits roll, Marcus. Any other great cameos?
Jerry from Parks and Rec.
As he keeps talking, Tom, just wrap up the show. Just let Marcus, you keep going, and Tom wrap up the show.
That is all the time we have for the podcast. Thank you for everyone out there for listening. Thank you, of course, to Marcus.
I can't think of anyone else.
Thank you, of course, to Damien.
Thanks, Tom.
And as we end every episode, Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. That was a really good one, Marcus.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Stay curious. Thank you again for listening. If you want to get in touch with us and ask us a question of your own, you can email us at tqhpodcast@gmail.com.
That email again, Tom.
Is tqhpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on what, Marcus?
We're on Twitter. We're also on Facebook.
At TQH Podcast. You can find us there. And we are also on, Damien.
Wherever you can get a podcast, that is where the TQH Podcast is. Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, you name it. We are on there.
And if you head over to iTunes, rate, subscribe, and leave a review, that would be fantastic. 5 stars if you think we deserve it. Thanks for listening.